And welcome everyone to Franchise Focus. I am your host, Lisa Linkowski. I am the founder of Milestone Franchising, and I am a certified franchise consultant where I match people to the best franchises out there. I represent over 500 concepts, and Franchise Focus is all about talking with those industry leaders and experts that are out there. And we have with us today, we have Ryan Arcoraci, who is coming live to us from Las Vegas, Nevada. Ryan, how are you today?
I'm great, Lisa. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, not a problem at all. Is it as hot there as it is here?
You could cook your lunch in your car today. It's July in Las Vegas, and it's getting extremely hot. But I love this town. So.
But you love it. Excellent. Yeah. Well, thank you, Ryan. And Ryan is with Client Tether. And Ryan is with a company that works with the franchise systems. And Ryan, tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been in sales and marketing for many years. I started out selling software to small businesses and medium-sized businesses in terms of CRM and sales and marketing software. And then it evolved into me starting to work with franchises. So about 5 years ago, I started working with some franchise brands in terms of helping them with their software needs. And then from that point on, I just grew and started to work with more and more brands. And now here I am today, having the pleasure of working with several different brands all over the country and all over the world. So it's great. Yeah.
Wow, all over the world. And I'm assuming you're doing that the way that we do everything these days, through Zoom?
Pretty much, yeah. Yes.
Right, so you're not getting on a plane these days. Did you used to have to get on a plane and travel everywhere?
Not so much. Now I go to conferences here and there, but for the most part, I'm doing most of my work right from my hometown.
Right from your home base, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned CRM, and so for the audience that does not know what CRM stands for, what does that mean?
CRM is customer relationship management. It's a system that everybody should use, no matter the size of your business, to help you manage your leads, your customers, your workflow, and your sales process.
So Client Tether is its own CRM?
CRM is part of what we have, but we also have a full, robust franchise system that's designed to do not just the CRM type of work, but a lot of other things as well. So it's really built for quite a bit of different operations and reporting and other things that franchises need. So CRM is just a small portion of it, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you came on board with Client Tether, you were with another company that was in the franchising world as well. So 2 companies in the franchising world. What was the draw there? I was with one company, I was kind of doing both franchise and small business. And with this company, I'm really more just franchise focused, which is what I'm really interested in, and working with emerging brands and larger brands. And that's been my central focus. I've kind of graduated from the small business sector community into the franchise world, which is where I find a lot of happiness. And I like to help franchisors grow in that regard. So that was really, I guess, the reason why I transitioned more. I just felt like it was more of a personal growth, professional growth and development, moving from one spot to the next. So, and you mentioned emerging brands. An emerging brand is a very young franchise, one that's newly hatched, that's just kind of come out, a brand new concept. It hasn't spread its wings across the country yet. So which do you prefer to work with, an emerging franchise or one that has more legs, that's been around for a longer period of time?
To be honest, I really love the emerging brands because they're so fresh and so new, and they're ambitious, right? And they're excited. So I love to see that in the clients I work with. I like to see them so excited about growing and looking at the future and figuring out how to strategize, how to scale, and really they're just excited about their product or service. And I like to be involved in that. So that's really where I find my passion.
Yeah, the emerging brands, you've got that right. They're very energetic and they're not stuck yet in their way of doing things. And so you have that ability to already start to mold them into a different direction before they get stuck perhaps in bad habits.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent. So how do you find your franchises that you work with?
Well, we are heavily involved in the franchise community, so we work with a lot of networking groups, and just people that we've met through the franchise community have reached out and referred us other new brands, new emerging brands. So we get a lot of referrals. We're just out there meeting people, getting involved, and just offering our expertise and our help. So a lot of it, we're just thankful it comes from great relationships we have with current franchisors and partners that really refer us new business. So it's been awesome in that regard. So yeah, that's pretty much where we get a lot of our business from.
Right. I would think that it would be heavily reliant upon referral business because the franchise is, in this case, it's an emerging franchise. They can actually prove that working with you has helped them to expand their system across the country by utilizing you and getting their tentacles out more, I guess you could say, in a better, faster, more efficient way. And then
Yes.
they can mention that to other franchises. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, excellent. So
Definitely.
what separates Client Tether from the competitors that are out there? Like what separates you?
Sure, it's a good question. And one of the things I tell people that I talk to is that we were started by a franchisor. So our founder started Five Star Painting and Five Star Franchising many years ago. He's been in the franchise space for over 20 years. So we understand the structure of franchising. We understand the demands of franchising, the challenges, because we have been hands-on in it. A lot of other companies, they have a software system, but they don't have the experience to back it up. We do. So we understand, the ins and outs of franchising, the challenges that comes with franchising, scaling, tracking analytics, all the things that franchisees face as they start to grow their brand, all the challenges we understand. So we understand how to get in there and help them, support them through that sort of uphill battle into the franchising world as they grow. So that's where we're different, I think, is the experience we have, the team we have, the support we have. We're all in it together. We're a great company full of amazing people, and we really take pride in the support and help we give our franchisors and franchisees to be successful.
Sure, and having the head of your company have such a rich background in the franchising industry, it definitely puts you leaps and bounds ahead because franchisee speak is its own, world that we often all get lost in, and knowing how to speak that language and understanding what the process is, because franchising is all about a system. And so being able to understand that system and being able to, work within that system and utilize your strengths and your product that helps to only emphasize and make that system stronger and better, that's the name of the game, correct?
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head there. Right.
Okay, excellent. So Client Tether has been around for how long now?
We've been around for about 7-8 years now as a software company. But like I said, prior to that, we've been in our founder's been in the franchise space for many years before. So.
And how the service industry that you're looking at is very specific. So talk to me about that.
So our sort of niche for clientele is home service brands, and the thing about it is what comes with that is understanding the customer, right? If you are a homeowner and you have a flood or a pest problem, those become urgent issues, right? So all of us, at some point, we've had an appliance go out or damage or mold or a pest problem, and it becomes an urgent issue. So our system helps the home service brand or company respond to leads just a lot faster, because today's consumer, they don't wait, right? They want an answer right away. They're not going to wait a day or two for a response from a service provider or a company. They want to get their answer. They want to get their problem solved quickly. So we provide the technology to help those franchisors in that particular industry respond to leads faster and have more success and get more business from it. So that's really where we really help in that area.
Customer service is key. I know for myself, I see all day long, people always post on social media in my local community looking for various service industries that are out there ad nauseum. And often then they're wringing their hands because they can't get a hold of anyone. And so they're putting calls in, and they even have a referral. They've got a referral from someone and they go, so-and-so referred me to your business, and they still can't get that call back. So how Client Tether helps to put that bond of the franchise owner within the customer response and getting that turnaround quickly. How do you mesh the two? Like how does that happen?
So without getting too technical, we call it the speed to the lead, right? If you have a flood in your house, let's say, you're panicking, you don't know what to do, you're going to contact somebody. So basically what happens is our system, a lead will come in, John Smith's got a flood in his house, he's going to call ABC Plumbing franchise, right? They're going to get that lead through the phone. What our system does is immediately respond. So in any way we can. So whether it's a text or an email or a phone call back, our system will respond within minutes to that inquiry from that lead, right? So they feel like, okay, these people sent me a text within less than 5 minutes that someone's going to call me soon and come to my house and look at this problem, right? So that's sort of a peace of mind reassurance that somebody's there and on top of your problem to help you right away, and there's less delay. And that makes customers or potential customers feel so much better. Nobody wants to wait 5 days or 3 days if they have a major structural problem in their house or a flood or a pest problem. Nobody wants to wait to get help.
Time kills all deals, right? That's what they say in the franchising world, and that applies to everything. Now that we're so adjusted to everything getting delivered so much, fast, and our phones are faster and technology is faster. The last thing that we want is when we have some sort of big critical problem in our home is to sit there waiting with no one getting back to us. So you provide the solution where the franchise owner can sit there and have the ability to get back to those customers straight, quick, immediate, and that just helps. And then that helps to solidify their reputation and to get referrals on their end so that they can, continue on with their business.
Right.
So we're going to take a quick break, Ryan. This was a great time to stop. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a quick listen to our commercial sponsors, and we'll be right back after this.
Okay.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And welcome back to Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Lankowski, and I am here with Ryan Arcoraci, who is with Client Tether. Ryan, right before the break, we were talking about how speed is just critical to access to getting your clients to make sure that the customers are being responded to for a franchise. Because the thing is, right, you buy a franchise, someone buys a franchise, and the big question is how do I now get my customers? And now you get a customer and you don't respond to it. And then that's going to be a big problem, right? So another issue that we were touching upon is your analytics. That there's so much digital marketing out there, and there's so many avenues where you can get swamped with information.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how Client Tether can help your customers to alleviate feeling overwhelmed.
So without getting too technical, we provide reporting. And the most important thing is, as a business owner, is you need to understand your customer, right? Where's my customer coming from? Why do they, purchase from me? What are they buying from me? And what is their sense of urgency, right? Where are they coming from? Are they coming from, social media, Google, the phone, or referral? So we help to track all of that so you can understand where your customers are coming from, why they're buying, how they're converting into a sale, how quickly they're converting into a sale, and what process works the best for that, right? All of that stuff is basically in our reporting structure, our dashboard, and that is essential to run a successful business, because when you have that data, you can use it to become better tomorrow and a week from now and next year. You're constantly tweaking your marketing strategy, your sales strategy, so you get better and better and better, so you can grow faster and become more successful. So that's what our reporting capabilities do.
Right, and data is a gold mine, but it quickly becomes worthless when you're doing nothing with it. And it's
Right.
just sitting there. I often marvel at companies that I would sign up for various, loyalty programs, and
Yep.
my background is marketing, and they would never reach out to me, and they would never give me any incentive for coming to them. So when
Right.
you're sitting here as a franchise owner and you have all of this data that you're sitting on that's been brought to you by the systems that are in place, but then you don't know what to do with it and you don't know how to
Yeah.
respond, that can create a real problem. So let me
Exactly.
ask you this: can a franchise owner themselves reach out to you, or you have to be the franchise system has to align themselves with Client Tether?
Most of the time, the franchisor will be our point of contact, who then influences or supports the franchisees. But absolutely, a franchisee can reach out to me or any of us here, and we'd be happy to talk to them. As far as making a decision, it usually comes down to the franchisor. Not all the time, but sometimes. So that's usually how it works. But we're happy to talk to anybody who has questions or needs help with this sort of sales or marketing process.
Excellent. Yeah, because it's something where some things as a franchise owner you can do on your own, and then a lot of things are within the system, because that's what that's what you're buying into. You're buying into a system. But if someone's listening to this right now and they're going, wait a second, my CRM is not robust like this and it's not working well, I wanted them to make sure that they understand that you have to tie into the franchisor's system, and you have to be able to have access into that, correct? And then you have to have the buy-in from the franchisor, and then work from that point.
Right, exactly.
Excellent. So let's talk about the old pandemic there. I know, eye roll, insert eye roll right there.
Yeah.
But, you're working through this whole period of time, just like the rest of us. What have you seen? Like, what did you see? What's changed? What's different? What do you think is going to come out of this, for better or for worse? Like, are there any trends that you're seeing? I'm throwing a million questions at you in one area, so take what you want and go from there.
That's okay. What's fascinating to me is our brands really thrived during the pandemic, and you're going to ask, well, why, right? One thing I noticed that's pretty fascinating is when people are sitting at home and they're working at home and they're home all day, they realize all these things that they kind of put off or procrastinated about, right? That wall that needs painting, or that crack that needs fixed, or the new floor I want to put in. All those things kind of come to mind again in the pandemic because everybody's home, right? So our industry, our franchise clients really thrived because people realize, like, oh, I need to get this stuff done. I'm home, I have the time, and I'm here. Let's start getting it done. So a lot of the home service brands really thrived during the pandemic compared to other industries, which was good for them. But as far as trends coming, one of the interesting things I've seen is that, I traveled a few weeks back, and it's interesting how people literally want to connect on a human level again. Like, we're all doing Zoom and text and email and all that stuff. But when you get face to face, back to the raw human element of talking to each other, looking at each other in person, shaking hands, people want that again. So I think we're kind of moving into back to, in business, getting back to meeting customers face to face, physically being around them and talking to them. When I was traveling, the person next to me on the plane talked to me the whole time. I didn't know this woman at all. Nice lady, sweet lady, but she talked to me the whole time, which is like, to me, okay, people are out there. They want to interact with other people now. We've had a year of no interaction really, or not real interaction, right? So we're moving into, let's talk again. Let's get together face to face. Let's shake hands. Let's look at each other in the eye. My Uber driver even talked to me the whole time. I mean, literally, strangers are talking to me, which is awesome. I love it. So I think that's the trend, is if you're going to be in business now after the pandemic, you have to really get back down to that human element. Maybe go out and actually meet your customers, go out and physically see them, send them a gift, send them a card, and build that relationship at a human level.
That human touch, right? That human touch. And, you know, it's funny because, yes, everyone wants to get back, and they want to be back into, you know, being in front of one another. And I know that there are some franchise shows that are already starting up again, and it's very exciting. And I'm asked on a regular basis, what's the hot franchise? And I say, I don't care about the hot franchise. What I care about are the hot industries. And you hit the nail on the head. That is home services, which is just exploded. So you could not have picked a better area to align yourself with, because it's exactly to your point that people did not go away on vacation and they're sitting in their house and they're making this investment if they haven't decided to move, which is a whole nother thing. And then you got to renovate the new house that you're either leaving or that you're coming to. Are there other customers, by the way, that you target beside the home services industry, or is that basically what you're looking at?
We have a lot of brands that are actually, some are restaurants. I have one brand, and I'm kind of partial to them. They do bubble tea, which I don't know if you know what bubble tea is, but it's very yummy and delicious, and I happen to love it.
I just tried it for the first time in New York City with my son just a couple weeks ago. He was like, I want to get the bubble tea. I'm like, okay, so we went and got it.
It's good. It's good. But we have a lot of those brands who are using us for franchise development. So they are rapidly growing, expanding, and they're selling their franchise. So they're using our CRM system to contact leads, communicate with leads, and eventually sell more locations. So that's another area we're really helping a lot of brands in as well. So that's going well.
So this is the back end now that we're talking about. So you service the franchise owners where they have the system in place that has their customer base, and you know they know how to contact them, and then on top of that they have the whole reporting aspect. But then you service the franchisors for how to get new owners to buy into the system.
Exactly. We work directly with some franchise lead sources. There's some companies that generate leads who want to buy franchises potentially. So we will help connect our franchisors with that lead and hopefully convert them into a new franchise owner. And that's something we really help a lot with too as well.
And so you're not, you're not tethered, pun intended, to any industry at that point, because you're looking for any franchisor that's just looking to grow their business, grow it at a rapid pace, be responsive, and have, again, a system that works well, that keeps them organized and keeps them, well able to stay on top of, because you can get a mountain right now, after any kind of economic upset, franchising tends to have a boom. So now you get this flood of these people that are all interested in you, and you have to, again, respond quickly, because if you don't, that person has now left the building and now they're on to the next thing.
Yeah. And you know as well as I do, if you talk to someone who wants to buy a franchise, that's a fish you don't want to let off the hook, right? You want to talk to them about the importance and the benefits of owning a franchise, how great it is. So that you're exactly right. You need to talk to those people. You need to interact. You need to build a relationship, understand them, and point them in the right direction when it comes to business ownership and being successful for the long term. Absolutely. Yeah.
Understood. And you said that you're starting to get out there. Are you going to be attending? Are you going to have a booth at any upcoming shows that you want to tell everyone about?
We are going to the Springboard Conference, which is at the end of September. I potentially may be going to the Multi-Unit Conference here in Vegas. I believe that's end of August, early September. And right now, that's all I really have going on. But I'm sure we're looking to join, in the process of potentially joining IFPG. So any of their events we'll probably join or attend as well. So a lot going on. I'm excited.
So the emerging, the Springboard Conference here in Philadelphia, for those of
Yes.
you that are not familiar with it, fantastic franchise expo, but it's only for those emerging franchises that are coming out there, that are just up and coming, that are looking to grow. So you'll be there, which is exactly who your market's going to be. And that is fantastic. And then, of course, we have the big franchise show in Javits in September. Is that the other one that you were alluding to?
It may be. I'm not sure. We may go to that. I'd have to ask our director about that. But
And you
I'm
mentioned
sure
IFPG, which I would be remiss in not saying what that is. That's the International Franchise Professionals Group, which I am a member of, and that's how I have access to all the franchises that I work with. And we would welcome you aboard 100%, you and Client Tether. Well, we are out of time, Ryan. This has been fantastic.
Yes.
What is the best way for people to reach you?
You can just go to our website. It's clienttether.com. You can also look me up on LinkedIn or email me directly at ryan@clienttether.com. And I'm happy to help you in any way I can.
Excellent. And you have a podcast as well, I believe, correct?
I do. I have
And
a
where can
podcast
people
on
find your podcast?
Yeah. I have a podcast on Podbean. It's called Business Stories with Ryan Arcoraci, where I just talk to everybody who's involved in franchising or business, because everybody has a fantastic story, and some of it is super interesting. So, and I learned so much. So definitely go look it up on Podbean, and I'd love to have anybody who's listening who has a story to tell as a guest too. So, thank you.
Wonderful. Well, knowledge is power, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into Franchise Focus. Once again, I am your host, Lisa Linkowski, and please be sure to watch us every week on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time.